YouTube, welcome or welcome back. I'm going to come straight at you on my second YouTube video ever with a hair transplant video, and a good reason for it. I've literally had a number of messages and questions since I got my hair transplant done in 2024 across multiple platforms, Instagram, TikTok. So I thought it'd be a good idea to basically just like sit down and just like, basically what I've done is like collated all the, hold on, I'm on my phone, right? I've literally just collated all the questions that I've had. I'm going to run over right now what some of the questions are. So like, is it sore? Where did I get it done? How long does it take? What's the actual procedure like? How does it work? How long does it take to recover from? Like gym, sun, exercise, all that kind of stuff. I was kind of worried about that. Can you sleep properly after it? How long does it take for it to actually look good, or for it to actually look better? And also, how much does it cost? Right? These are all the questions that I could really find. I actually genuinely went through my DMs on TikTok, on Instagram. Like, I've had so many people ask me questions about this, so I thought, let's just make a wee video about it. So first I'm going to cover like why I actually got a hair transplant. Why did I go ahead and get a hair transplant? Now obviously you can imagine that the obvious question to that is, well, because I didn't like my hair. Yes, I didn't like my hair, right? Now I'm going to file some videos or photos or something like that up on the screen here, right? So this is what my hair looked like before I got my hair transplant. You can see like my hair was really thin, man. At the back, the hairline was receding, and it kind of started receding since I was like about 25, and it basically got to the stage where I didn't even want to go to shop, right? I didn't even want to go to like Asda, supermarket, nothing. Sometimes I was even cutting about inside my own house, right, inside my own flat, with a hat on, right, a cap on. It was ruining my fucking confidence, especially on holidays. Well, you're at the pool and all that kind of stuff, like, and then obviously when your hair gets wet, right, it naturally makes your hair look worse, and it makes it look thin and kind of straggly, and obviously mine was already quite thin and straggly, right? So that didn't help, and it really just got to the point where I was like, right, this is literally unmanageable now. Like, I was using like a hair filler and shit like that, right? I was using like a fucking lot of hair filler, by the way. I'm quite happy to admit that's how much it was bothering me. So I just decided, right, that enough's enough. When it gets to the stage, for me, in my opinion, see when something's affecting you every single day of your life, every day that's bothering you, it's probably time to do something about it. So I did. So I've got the questions that I've collated and I've popped them in my notes at my phone, right? And I'm going to run over these cases. So the first one is it sore? So the actual procedure itself is pain-free, as in like actually getting your hair transplant. It's no sore, there is no pain involved. However, there is a but coming, right? There is a but coming. It's because they give you injections, they give you anaesthetic injections, but you could probably guess that. I'm not going to do an operation in your head without giving you numbing injections. But I can tell you right now, my honest experience, the numbing injections is probably one of the most painful experiences that I've ever had, right? And it's genuinely very painful. Now, they don't tell you this at the start, because it's probably about 30 or 40 injections or something like that, because I was getting the back, I was getting the crown done, and I was getting the front. So they're not going to sit and say, oh, by the way, we'll inject your head 40 times. That's the first thing we do. Well, obviously after they shave all your hair off. But it's very painful. Like I'm not gonna sit and lie. This is not to put anybody off. I'm not trying to put anybody off, because these injections are literally over in a couple of minutes, right? Couple of minutes and they're done. It was when the guy was like that, right? I remember my surgeon. So he shaved all my hair off, and then he went, right, so I'm just going to put this anaesthetic in, and he went, just let me know if you need to take a break from the injections. And I went, need to take a break? I was like, what do you mean need to take a break? I was like, how fucking bad is this pain going to be? But don't let it put you off. If for some reason, if I had to get another hair transplant, would I go and get another hair transplant knowing that level of pain? Aye, I would, right? I'd suck it up for a few minutes and I would go and get that. And the rest of it is literally pain-free. So where did I get it done? I got it done at Merchant City Medical Group in Glasgow City Centre. Now, I obviously did look into getting it done in Turkey. For me, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to fly abroad and sit for like 4 days in a hotel. I know there's a lot of people can do that, but it just wasn't for me. And I was like, well, if I can get it done here, I'd rather do that Versus City Medical, I knew a boy, Jack Milton. He literally recommended it to me. I asked him some questions about it. And he recommended he went there, plus his transplant looked really good. I suppose that's what you do, and just like anything, there's somebody you know, have they been, okay, so then I was just asking him about it, and that was basically how that landed on Merseyside Medical. Went in for a consultation and just went for there. How long does it take? And next one, how long does it take? So I was in the actual operating theatre. I was in the operation room, probably for about 8 hours in total. So at 7, 8 hours. So I arrived. I think it was there for 8:30, maybe 9. Was it maybe 9? I think it was 9. I was there for 9, and I got out about 4, half 4, something along those lines. And I only had like a wee 40-minute lunch break, and the rest of the time it's all like them operating and taking what's the procedure called? Can't remember. Harvesting, but the harvesting, they take the hairs out here. Obviously, that's how the hair transplant works. They take it out the sides of here, and then they pop it in the top of your head. So the first section of the day is them removing and extract. That's the word I'm looking for. Extraction, right? Extracting all the wee hair follicles, and then the second part of the day is them placing them in your head, where they basically see, after your consultation, where they see that the areas of your head is basically the worst. By the way, I know I could actually probably time this better. I'm actually needing a haircut, so this is probably not like a great advert because my hair's looking, it's not looking, I don't think it's looking shocking. Maybe you can tell me if it isn't. You feel free to let me know in the comments if you do think my hair's looking shocking, but it's not, normally looks, I'm quite happy with it. But I'm desperately needing a haircut, so it's probably not the best advert. Maybe I could have timed this video a bit better, but anyway. That's basically how that's the way the procedure works. So shave your head, injections, then they harvest, then you get a lunch break, which they pay, they get you a wee lunch and stuff, by the way, which is decent at Merseyside Medical, and then in the afternoon, that's when they place all the follicles back into your head. How long does it take to recover from? So, I would say, from my experience, the first 5 to 6 days after your, so that's probably going to be like most operations, right? Most injuries, anything like that. I suppose that's what it essentially is, isn't it? It's like a big injury. It takes a while. 5-6 days so in total, but 5-6 days are quite brutal, I'll be honest. The swelling kind of bad. I'll pop some photos up again. You look like a fucking idiot, to be honest. I look like I've been stung with 10,000 wasps, genuinely. And then, literally, after that swelling goes away, it's not too bad. It kind of dies away, and you kind of go back to looking like semi-normal. And then, well, obviously, manage you've been bald, and then that's it, right? So it's not that bad. And then after that, see the 4 weeks after that, I get told that I was advised not to lift weights or train, which was a big concern to me, obviously, because it's literally my career. But it was 4 weeks, and then I was back in the gym. I think you're actually technically allowed to go back to doing cardio. Is it maybe after 3 weeks? Something like that. Don't quote me on that one. Cardio after 3 weeks, when you can go back to lifting weights, because it's like resistance training, because it's a pressure on your body, obviously, like a huge pressure, after 4 weeks. So that's pretty much it. But for me, first 5-6 days, brutal. After that, it's actually fine. Wasn't even too bad. Can you sleep properly after it? No, really. You need to sleep upright. You need to sleep upright if you didn't know that. Again, same for, I think, like most operations, kind of like if you're getting like anything done surgically into your face, your head, your chest, whatever, I think you need to sleep upright for most of that anyway. But sleep upright for 2 weeks, and then you can kind of move back down gradually to sleeping flat. So, like, I know you don't need to sit bolt upright, but like at a good angle, maybe like 70 degrees or something. I actually used a wee tip as well. I saw somebody do this on TikTok. I actually used an aeroplane neck pillow, which I thought was a really good idea. When I saw somebody do it, I was like, that's a decent idea. So I done that, just to kind of like support your head, stop it tilting. So almost lastly, how long does it take for it to look good? So how long does it take for it to look good? Now, it depends what you think is good. So mine started to look decent at about the kind of 6 month mark. 6 month mark, I would say, because I get mine done in mid-November. It was either mid-November or December, I think, 2024. And then I went on my mate's stag do in May, and it looked alright for the front, but the back was still really thin. The back was still thin, quite thin, and that took a bit of a while to come in the crown. But that's always the case. The crown always takes longer to come in, apparently. So by the way, do you know what? Sorry, I missed one question off the front of that list there, which I'll actually cover as well, medications. But I would say like after that kind of 4 or 5, 6 months, that's when you start to see it thicking up. Now mine actually, I've noticed, see, now I'm obviously, how long am I post-transplant now? If I get that done in November? Isn't it February? No, holy shit. 15 months, maybe? 15 months. Now funnily enough, that's what they say, how it takes that long to get your hair to actually fully thicken up to its max capacity. It's 15 to 18 months, but the majority of the growing is done in a year for most folk. But I've actually noticed mine thicken up quite a bit at the back in that as well, because mine was quite thin at the back for a while. It's still it doesn't look perfect, but it looks a million times better than what it did. But to get your full, like the full look at the transplant, you're talking about 15 months. But mostly a year. Most of your hair is going to be back in a year. My hairline came in though after like that kind of 6, 7 months mark. My full hairline was in nice and thick. So, moving on to medications, which I forgot that one off. This is an important one. Did I take any? That's why people ask me like, what did you take? Did you take any? Did you need to take any medications? Did you need to take any like pills every day? Yes. I take manual. I take an all-in-one biotin. I take finasteride and I take minoxidil. I take that every single day, every morning. And another thing, this is something that quite a lot of people don't realise, I think, is that see when you start taking that, I went to a guy, actually I'm going for a tangent here, hopefully no, I went to a guy for some hair treatment, Manvir, great guy by the way, the hair farm in the West End, legend. He gave me a lot of advice, really good service as well. So you can, by the way, you can go there even if you've not had a hair transplant. See if you struggle with your hair and your hair's looking a bit fucked and you're not happy with it, go to Manvir, he's your guy. But he gave me some advice on this, and he said, by the way, just so you know, because I didn't even know this, once you stop taking that finasteride, your hair may start to thin out. So once you start on that finasteride, you need to take finasteride. I think, again, don't quote me on this, but I think finasteride is the one that stops your hair coming out, and the minoxidil is the one that helps it grow. So actually taking both is best. Finasteride does have some small side effects, but they barely affect anybody. You can do your own due diligence in that. I'm not a scientist, but you can go and look up effects of finasteride and go and look up that one up, because it's person dependent. But that's what I take every single day. I've taken it every single day, and it's actually I got it from a place called Manual. I think it works out about £20 a month, something like that, 20 or £30 a month or something like that works out at. So yes, I do take medications to answer that question as well. So, how much does it cost? Right, the golden question. This is what everybody wants to know. How much does it cost? But obviously, you can actually just go. In fact, I've even answered this on my TikTok comments. It's actually on my TikTok already anyway. So, I've heard of people paying quite a lot of money in the UK for hair transplants. 6 grand, 7 grand, 10 grand. I heard of somebody paying 12.5 grand at a clinic in London for a hair transplant. That's the most I've ever heard of. Mine cost £3,700. So I think that's a really good price for the UK. And I got, by the way, I got 3,700 grafts for that. So a pound a graft, I suppose that works out. I'm sure that's what it was. I don't know if that actually holds any weight. I don't know if that's normal for the prices to match up, if that's just coincidence for the amount of grafts I got. No sure. But that's how much I paid for it. To be honest, it's been absolutely life-changing for me. It's completely brought my confidence back, and it's actually one of the best money I've ever spent. To be honest, it's so worth it. Like even if you did have to go somewhere that costs 6 grand, like see if you're in a position where your hair, which you might be if you're watching this video right through, if your hair is bothering you and it is affecting your confidence every single day of your life, I cannot tell you how much it's changed my life, man. It's been amazing, one of the best things I've ever made. So that covers it. Feel free to drop any comments, any other questions you've got. I think I've pretty much covered everything you could possibly want to know, but if you get any other comments, any questions you want to ask me, or anything you want to ask me private, shoot me DM, whatever, or I don't even know YouTube works actually, that's again, noob. Don't know if you can even send message on YouTube, whatever, maybe you can just leave a comment if you want to ask me any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'll wrap this video up here, and I'll catch you in the next one.